All right, race fans, welcome to TurnLeftTV. Be ready for some high-speed action tonight. Step on the gas. All right, race fans, welcome to Vegas, baby. This is TurnLeftTV, and I'm your host, Heath Johnson. The High Octane Racing League Buschwackers Series heads to Vegas. It's Sin City. It's race number 5 in that 4th season of 2021. Oh man, who's got all the cards tonight? And who's gonna fold? There's only one way to find out, boys and girls, and that is watch it right here live on TurnLeftTV. Well, it's the Buschwackers Series tonight. It is Vegas, and this is a very, very fun track, man. Going to be some great racing here. It's the Buschwackers. It's race number 5, and it's TurnLeftTV. All right, hey, thank you so much for coming in here and joining me on TurnLeftTV. Got a good one for you here tonight. Right now, we are in the practice session. And again, thanks for coming in. Tonight's race brought to you by EliteHostingUSA.com. Perfect for rFactor 2 if you're interested in an rFactor 2 server, not only in the United States, but all around the world. EliteHostingUSA.com can provide you with servers in your local area. Not only that, but also WordPress hosting. You want to host your website, host it through EliteHostingUSA.com. That's where we have HighOctaneRacing.net hosted. And great service, great customer service, and really appreciate all the work that they do and keeping us up and running, and then also the tech support that they give us as well. Well, tonight is Vegas. 1.5 mile, one of those cookie cutter tri-ovals, and this is a fun one, man. It really is. Going to be some great racing here. Banking in the turns at 12 to 20 degrees, progressive banking, and can be a little tricky coming through the tri-oval there. So some good side-by-side racing, but you got to be really careful. 2 places. You got to be careful through that tri-oval, and you got to also be careful when you're getting on and off pit lane. And this can be a little tricky here. So Vegas, a very fun track. And the Buschwackers Series, they're going to do it up right here tonight. We take a look at the schedule here in the Buschwackers Series. We're about smack dab right in the middle of the season. Steve Freeze Memorial 250 last week, and what a great race that was, man. Big field, 24 drivers joining us for that to honor our fallen hero, Steve Freeze, somebody who meant so much to us here at HORl. Talladega coming up next week. That should be a great one. 70 laps there. You see Charlotte Motor Speedway on October the 8th. Phoenix International, 120 laps here on October the 15th. Kansas Speedway on October the 22nd. And then California Speedway to finish out the season. 98 laps there on October the 29th. And again, thanks for coming in. This is Las Vegas Motor Speedway. I'm your host, Heath Johnson, broadcaster, commentator, and appreciate you being here tonight. And we got a fun one for you, man. I tell you, Vegas is always a fun track. It really seems like you never have a chance to rest at this track. It is high speed, and man, you get around here really quickly. And racing is going to be pretty tight. And it's going to be a little hard to pass, I think. I mean, there are definitely going to be some two lanes there, but you got to do it upright to get around some of these guys. Got about 4 minutes left before we go to the qualification session. You see RTV there coming off the track. Pitting will be off turn 4 tonight, so it could be a little challenging. Look at the 68 car. That's Givaldo Spindola, one of our buddies, man. He comes in. He is such a loyal participant here at HORl. Greatly appreciate Givaldo and all his kindness. Look at that, man. He's already in here chatting up, man, before he came in and got out on the track. Good evening to everybody. Good luck to all. And then to my friend Heath Johnson, a good broadcast. Always appreciate him coming in, man. What a great guy Givaldo is. Claudio Bardelli Jr., also one of our great buddies here at HORl. And he's out here tonight, too. So boa noche to both those guys, my friends, my Brazilian friends. I tell you what, man, these Brazilian guys are absolutely hardcore about racing. They just eat it up, man. Anything and everything. Bardelli Jr. is broadcasting all the time on his his YouTube channel. It's not all TurnLeftTV on YouTube. It should be on his YouTube channel. Always broadcasting. He'll be broadcasting tonight. So you want to check him out on at Claudio Bardelli Jr. on his YouTube channel, streaming live from his cockpit there. But he does all kinds of stuff, man. Not just rFactor 2. He does all kinds of different sims. So, well, good luck to both those guys tonight. We'll take a look at some of the other stuff we got coming up this weekend. Hey, the GT3 Series is back in action. High Octane Racing League's GT3 Series. Race number 2 coming up tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It'll be live right here on TurnLeftTV, and it is Mid-Ohio. What a great track, man. This is a great Midwestern road course, classic American road course. And race number 2, these guys are going to get after it tomorrow, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 50-minute race from Mid-Ohio, coming up live right here on TurnLeftTV. The Saturday Night Thunder will be back in action tomorrow as well. Las Vegas, the Cup cars are going to get out tomorrow night, race number 3 of the season. And 120 laps there in the Cup cars with open setups, 1X tires, 1X fuel setting. Again, a great track Vegas is. Of course, we're having the Xfinity cars out here tonight. But tomorrow night, some open setup racing in Las Vegas in the Saturday Night Thunder, the Cup cars. Race number 3 of the season. I want to say thank you so much for coming in and joining me here on TurnLeftTV, man. Our subscribers just continue to grow. That's great. I really appreciate everybody who's come out and subscribed to the channel. Peace to everybody out there. Man, the temperature's starting to go down. I had to throw on a little sweatshirt today. What is the deal? Summer is over. It's now autumn here in the United States. So, oh, man, I kind of like autumn. But, man, once it starts getting late autumn and you start getting into that little November range, I'm a little thumbs down on that. But, hey, thanks for coming in, and I appreciate you being here tonight. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. It is right over there. There we go. It's right there. Oh, it's right there. There we go. Smash that subscribe button and then smash the bell if you haven't already done so. Please hit that button up there on the banner of the channel if you'd like to donate to TurnLeftTV. I greatly appreciate that. Don't forget to go down in the description of the race here and follow those links over to the Fanatec website. And I had one of my good buddies purchase some stuff through them just recently, so thanks to my good bud. I don't know if he wants me to mention his name or not, but he got some of his equipment in very quick on the delivery too. It was really good. So if you're here in the United States, you can order and get that stuff from the U.S., Europe as well. I've got a European link down there if you're interested, and I think that South American group you guys can purchase through that U.S. link as well. So that should work for you. But again, thanks for all those folks who have supported me by clicking on that link and going over to the Fanatec website, and also those guys who've purchased stuff through them. I really appreciate that. Man, we've got a ton of streams there for you to look back on. If you'd like to look back at that Steve Freeze Memorial race, that was a really, really good race. Check that out. That's for you to check out when you have time. So a lot of stuff there to check out here on TurnLeftTV, and who knows, man, we got some more stuff up our sleeve coming up soon, hopefully. So we're in the qualification session here, about 8 minutes in quals for these guys to get their laps in. So it looks like Artavia here, the top time so far with a pretty good lap, 29.536 as I'm looking at it. Take a look at that tower here. 29.536. See Will Dunbar in the 88 making his qualification attempt. Looks like he's 12th on the grid. Steve Cunningham finishing up his qualification attempt. So Artavia looks like he's qualified in P1. So look at that, Artavia their top time here so far. Sean Jacobs second, Ed Palumbo third, Paul Brown fourth, Claudio Bardelli Jr. fifth. Man, that's some strength up there in the top five. Preston Hassel Look at that, Tony Furtado, man. Coming back here to race with us. New to rFactor 2, and he's already right now 7th on the grid. Dan Richter, 65 cars, qualifies 8th. Chivaldo Spindle, 9th. And Glenn Wilson, Christian Wilson, the younger, the son, qualifying in the 10th position. See, Jim Willis qualifies 11th, Will Dunbar 12th. Steve Cunningham 13th. Glenn Wilson starts in the 14th position. Lucas Sinfler will start 15th. Looks like he is elected not to qualify. Let's take a look at the season standings coming into tonight. This is the top 10. Sean Jacobs, 148 points there, 8 points up on Claudio Bardelli Jr. Artur Vieira sits in the 3rd position, and Palumbo 4th. Paul Brown, that big win. He's got 3 wins, but he's missed a race here, so he's at 5th in points. Todd Robillard could not be here. Best wishes to Todd. He said he was feeling a little bit under the weather here tonight, and hate to see that, but Todd does a lot of work for us as an admin here on Friday nights, but definitely our well wishes go out to him. He's 6th in points coming into tonight. Preston Hassel 7th. Chris Hughes not here tonight right now, it looks like. Might jump in here during the warm-up session. He's 8th in points. Jesus Iglesias 9th. And Christian Wilson 10th in points coming into tonight. So we got about 3 minutes left in the qualification session, although these guys are done. Well, who got the big win last week at, well, we already gave it away, didn't we? We had a great race last week in the Buschwackers series. It was the Steve Freeze Memorial 250 at Michigan International. Always a great race. And started out a little dicey, but, man, that thing got interesting later down the road in the race. And Paul Brown, what a fantastic finish this was, man. These guys were 4 wide at some point. Todd Robillard there got taken out. On the 77, 24, and the 13, they were 3 wide there coming around off turn 4, and then things shook out the way they did. We had a huge wreck here at the end. Watch this, man, this wreck. But Paul Brown gets the finish. But look at this, Lucas Sinfler comes flying across the line, and also Colin Matiak wrecking as well. So big green-white checker last week. And so congratulations to Paul Brown on getting that win at Steve Freeze Memorial 250. And again, really, really wild finish there. But he was able to come away with the race victory. So congratulations to Paul Brown. Let's see if he can make it 2 in a row. So we got about just a minute left here before we roll it over to qualifications. To warm up. We've already done quals. Artur Vieira says, we're not doing any more quals, man. I'm at P1 right now. Very excited about this race coming up tomorrow at Mid-Ohio in the High Octane Racing League GT3 Series. These guys have been off for a week and had some things going on last week. So we took that week off and now getting back after it. This is race number 2 of the season. We've got an 8-race season here. Take a look at the schedule. We got Zandvoort night race. We already had Mid-Ohio coming up tomorrow. Road America coming up on October the 2nd. Adelaide, great street circuit there in Australia coming up on the 9th. And we'll be off another week and come back on October the 23rd at Portland. Dubai GP coming up on October the 30th. Silverstone on November the 6th. And Singapore Bay, Marina Bay, final race of the season coming up on the 13th of November. So now back in the warm-up session, we'll take a look at the session results and qualifications. So Art de Vieira will start P1. Outside row 1 will be Sean Jacobs. Row 2, Ed Palumbo, Paul Brown. Starting in row 3, Claudio Bardelli Jr., Preston Hassel. Row 4, Tony Furtado in the 1X machine. Dan Richter will start outside row 4 in the 65 car. Givaldo Spindola in the 68 car will start in 9th. Row 6, Christian Wilson outside there. Jim Willis in the 53 car starts in the 11th position. Will Dunbar 12th. Steve Cunningham in the 13th position. So tonight, 5X machine of Glenn Wilson keeps getting better and better, man. Starting in the 14th position, Lucas Simpner will start from the back there in the 21 car. All right, we got about 5.5 minutes left to go in the warm-up session, and we're going to get this thing started. Again, thanks for coming in. This is TurnLeft TV, and I'm your host, Heath Johnson. We've got a great one for you tonight here at Vegas. It's the Buschwackers series, and again, this is race number 5 of the season. 98 laps here tonight at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. One of those great tri-oval mile-and-a-halfers, cookie cutters. This one's got a little bit different feel. I think the Indy cars are really good at this track as well, so a lot of fun. Looks like Danilo in here in the chat session joining us and says that looks like he's rooting for Claudio Bardelli Jr. here tonight. So good to see you, Danilo. Hopefully you can join us again here real soon on the track. Always enjoy when you come out and race here at HORl. Well, I'm going to get my picks in here tonight. And I tell you what, I know somebody who is itching for a win, and I'm going to choose him. So my pick to win the race tonight will be Ed Palumbo. So that's who I think is going to win this race. He's got a pretty strong car here, so track does require a little bit of aggressiveness, and Ed's pretty good at that. He likes to mix it up. Again, this is race number 5, 98 laps at Vegas tonight. Race number 5. Again, thanks for joining us here on TurnLeft TV, whether you're watching this on live or whether you're coming back and watching this on replay, whatever the case may be. Appreciate you coming out to TurnLeft TV, helping us out here. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. Discord address, if you'd like to join us on Discord, there's the Discord address at HORL. And come out and join us. We'd love to have you. Always looking for new members. So we've got racers from all around the world racing with us. I was talking to some folks today about how we got some folks from Russia, Belarus, Germany, France, the Netherlands, Poland. Sure, I'm missing some over there as well. Also Spain, Portugal. We've got some folks, a lot of folks from South America, Colombia, Brazil, joining us in here. We've got a few folks from the Caribbean. We haven't seen them in a little bit while. Normally they race on Saturday nights with us. Of course, the United States and Canada as well. I'm sure I'm missing a few. We definitely have that international flavor coming out on the GT3 series, but this is primarily what you get United States, Canada, and some South American drivers here that race on these Friday and Saturday night races. And I got some great friends from all around the world, really, and it's because of sim racing and their support for TurnLeft TV and High Octane Racing League. Got about a minute left here in the warm-up session. And again, thanks for joining us here on TurnLeft TV. Man, I tell you what, this is going to be a good one. Vegas is always a fun race. I like these cookie cutter tracks, and I think a lot of guys do like these as well. And Vegas is high speed, man. You got to be up on the wheel all night long at this track. Can be a little dicey coming on the pit lane, and we need to do the keys to the race here before we get her going. So the keys to the race tonight: patience. Can't overdrive this pretty easily, and that means you got to manage those tires. I'm skipping one there. beware of the trioval, man. Things tighten up in a hurry here. This is not quite as bad as what you see at, say, Charlotte, but things can get pretty tight in the trioval area, so beware of that. Patience, manage your tire. Y'all got mange tires again right there. What in the world am I doing? I got the mange. I do have the mange, right? Pit stops on point, man. Can be a little dicey getting on pit lane. I got to figure out how to. I need a spell checker. Can you believe I'm a high school teacher? Oh my god. Oh boy. Well, those are my keys to the race, man. Be patient, manage your tires, beware of the trioval, and make sure you have good pit stops here. So here we go, boys and girls. We're going to get this bad boy started. Las Vegas Motor Speedway in the Buschwacker Series.
Attention grid, all non-essential personnel leave the grid now.
All right, all right, all right. Gentlemen, start your engine!
All right, boys and girls, here we go. The starting order here tonight. Artur Vieta starts in P1 in that 4 car. Sean Jacobs starts in the 2nd position in the 24. Ed Palumbo 3rd in the 54. Paul Brown in the 77 starts in the 4th position. In 5th is the 91 of Claudio Bardelli Jr. Starting in the 6th position. Preston Hassel in that 27 car. Tony Furtado in the 1X car starts in 7th. Dan Richter in the 65 starts in the 8th position. Starting in 9th is Givaldo Spindle in the 68. Christian Wilson in the 30 starts 10th. Jim Willis in the 53 starts in the 11th position. Will Dunbar in the 88 starts in 12th. Starting in 13th will be Steve Cunningham in the 86 car. Glenn Wilson in the 5X starts in the 14th position. And Lucas Simpsoner in the 21 starts in 15th. So the 4 car will lead the field, take the green flag. You can't go too wide here through the tri-oval area, of course, in the turns. But I think in the end, maybe when these tires start to wear out a little bit, I think that high line is going to be a little better than the low line. We'll see. But this thing can, things are going to be pretty tight here, so it can get away from you in a hurry. So you got to manage those tires, of course. Be patient. Beware of that tri-oval and have good pit stops. Got one pace lap here, and lights are out on the pace car. The pace car comes in, and here we go. We're at Vegas, boys and girls, here in the Buschwacker Series. Race number 5.
Green flag, go, go, go.
Late green flag there for the starter. So Artur Vieta in that 4 car down on that bottom line as they come through the turn. Yeah, Palumbo there in 3rd in that middle. Sean Jacobs showing a little muscle there on the outside line. Looks like Sean Jacobs inches ahead of the 4 car. So now Sean Jacobs the race leader. Coming across the start-finish line, who leads lap 1, and that is the 24. 54 of Ed Palumbo now in 2nd. Artur Vieta in the 4th position. I would probably dive up to that high line there to get behind the 54 and use that high line, but he looks like he's wanting to hug that white line. So the 24, the 54, and the 4. What is it about the 4s, man? 24, 54, 4. You have the 91 and the 77 battling it out. 91, Claudio Bardelli Jr. looking like he's a little racy right now. He's down on that bottom line trying to get something going here, but I think that high line right now is the place to be. But Bardelli Jr. here giving it a good show here on the bottom line. Looking out the back of his car, you see Tony Furtado in that 1X machine. 27, Preston Hassel got to run on the outside. You see the 65, Dan Richter. That new paint scheme for him. Down on the inside, Bardelli Jr. still making it happen here. Drifting up there a little bit in the turn. 77 and the 91 side by side. Sean Jacobs continuing to lead. Ed Palumbo showing some muscle here in the second position. It's been a while here since he's gotten a win. And I tell you what, that Mellow Yellow sponsored machine looking pretty racy here tonight. Looking out of the front of Ed Palumbo's machine. He is up on the high line here, racing the 24 side by side here. A little tight right there. The 24 drifting up a little bit. As Ed Palumbo now vying for the race lead. He's got a little bit of ahead of Sean Jacobs. Looks like he might have the run here to clear Sean Jacobs. So Ed Palumbo, now the race leader here. He's going to lead this lap. Arjavieta in the 4 car just behind him. So now Ed Palumbo, our race leader. Arjavieta in second. Sean Jacobs back to the 3rd position. Paul Brown in the 4th spot. Look at that Tony Furtado in the 1X machine showing some muscle here. Now side by side, battling for the 5th position. Looks like he's battling for a 4th. The Claudio Bardelli Jr. and now Tony Furtado as he's back to 5th. For Bardelli Jr. looking like he wants to get up there. These guys mixing it up here early. Take a look at Givaldo Spindola and up on down on the bottom line as Dan Richter up on the high line. What a horrible camera angle there to stay that far. We can't get the action there as you see the 65. Dan Richter up on the high line as Givaldo here on the bottom line. You see the 65 there picking up that spot. Givaldo now back to the 10th position. I think Jim Will's going to get by him as well. Arjavieta here in the 4 car running behind that 54. You might be a little content right now as you see that 24 there looking on the low side. 24, Sean Jacobs making that pass, looking out of the front of Arjavieta's machine. We got a yellow flag here. Tires start to wear out. Guys starting to take a few chances, and we got our first yellow flag. Preston Hassel might have come around. See where he's at in that 27 car. Preston Hassel off the pace here a little bit. So we'll take a look at what happened here. See Preston Hassel on that bottom line there. And then Tony Furtado up on the high line. And there's contact. Man, it's a horrible camera angle for us to try to look. Go on board here with here. It looked like Tony Furtado might have gotten into Preston. It's kind of a terrible camera angle right there, man. It just happened in a spot where I don't have a camera, unfortunately. We'll jump back here and look at it this way. To go back and do this, kind of unprofessional looking, but here we go. Look like maybe the 27 car might have come up there a little bit. Hard to say coming off the turn. Both those guys kind of moving down there or toward one another. So it looks like both those guys kind of going for the same real estate there. Things get a little bit tighter as you start to enter that trial, coming off the turn and enter that trial. But I said beware the trial, didn't I? We got to improve those camera angles there. Give us another camera to switch to through that, coming off turn 4 there through the front stretch. I mean, actually, they're past the start-finish line by the time it switches the camera, so it's a little tough there. I apologize for that. There's just no other camera to go to for that one. We got some guys coming down pit lane here. As you see, they'll be in their pit stalls before we leave this camera angle. This is what I'm talking about here. So not quite to start-finish line, but it gets pretty far up the track there. And again, a lot of things are going to happen in that tri-oval area. See Will Dunbar in the 88 car, our race leader here, as we'll take a look at the side-by-side view here. Jim Willis making his pit stop here, finishing up that pit, coming back out on track. How about that 53 car? See Will Dunbar, our leader. So the 53, Jim Willis comes back out right now in the 7th position. Don't forget to tonight's race is brought to you by EliteHostingUSA.com. 3 self-managed server packages for you to choose from if you're interested in a server for your rFactor 2 needs. Also web hosting available, and this is where HighOctaneRacing.net has the website. So you're going to come and join us at HighOctaneRacing.net. You can see the current standings there for all of the series we run. Also get schedules and current times the guys are running throughout the week, so you see where you sit. And then also you can get a quick link over to TurnLeftTV. Good way to contact us there as well. And join us on Discord by clicking on the link there in the HighOctaneRacing.net channel. Or website, I should say. Will Dunbar, Lucas Sifner here, 1-2. Now those guys I think are going to come down pit lane. I'd say Christian Wilson probably going to come down pit lane as well. So those front 3 guys right there have not made a pit stop. I would suggest to you that I think these guys kind of wonder if they're going to stay out, if they're just getting some laps led here. Don't forget, coming up tomorrow, man, the High Octane Racing League GT3 Series will be back in action mid-Ohio. 50-minute race starting at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll start the broadcast somewhere around 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll have that 20-minute qualification session, 10-minute warm-up, and then get after it at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. It'll be live right here on TurnLeftTV. So we do see some guys coming down pit lane, and that will put Ed Palumbo, I believe, back in the race lead. Looks like our front 3, Ed Palumbo has elected to take the outside line. Paul Brown will start on the inside line in that 77 car. Jim Willis in the 53 starts inside row 2. Jacob starts outside row 2. Here we go. The pace cars coming in, and Palumbo on the outside line lead the field here to take the green flag. Get back to racing here to start lap 15.
Green flag, go, go, go.
So the 54 at Palumbo, good jump there on the restart. So Paul Brown now taking the race lead in that 77 car. 24, Sean Jacobs back in that 3rd position. I mentioned a couple weeks ago that Sean's son had just made the baseball team at California University of Pennsylvania. I believe that's what it is. I think I got it right this time. So congratulations there. I know the family is real happy, and Sean has really, I've known him for years, and he's been so excited when baseball season comes around. He gets to watch his son play baseball, so it looks like he's going to get to extend that even longer and watch him through his college years. So the 24, Sean Jacobs, here joining us tonight. See that to 1, 2, 3. There's 77, 54, 24, 53. Jim Willis up in this mix. Pretty good. That Black Rifle Coffee Company machine. Look, Sean Jacobs looking pretty racy there as well. Sean Jacobs watching that action out of the front of his car as well, man. I tell you what, that 54 to 77 getting after it a little bit right now. Lucas Sinfner and Givaldo Spindola. Lucas Sinfner in the Flex Seal sponsored Mustang up on the high line. Givaldo in the 68 down on that bottom line, and Lucas going to go for that 9th position. Looks like he has that pulled off. Will Dunbar and Steve Cunningham are battling it out. Will Dunbar in the 88, the 86, and Steve Cunningham up on the outside line. In side-by-side action with them. Steve Cunningham got that outside line, a little bit of a muscle right there, getting back by the 88 car. On board here with Will Dunbar, the 88. He's got fresh tires. Come in there late race, or late caution pit stop. A little dicey there entering that turn, but expect to see him out tomorrow in that GT3 series as well. He's running that GT3 series for us. I greatly appreciate all the work that Will does. Back up here with Paul Brown in the 77. And a good battle there behind him. Look at that. Sean Jacobs in the 54 of Ed Palumbo. Battling it out. 53, Jim Willis trying to figure out who he wants to go with. Ed Palumbo's got a good run here on the 77. That 24, Western Auto sponsored machine down on the inside line. Oh, things tightening up right there. They're going to get 3 wide. 54 there looking on that low side.
Yellow, yellow,
Oh,
yellow.
another yellow flag here. It's like 86, Steve Cunningham. Off the pace here a little bit. Take a look and see what happened here. Right here, Steve Cunningham up on the outside line. And again, this is going to happen in the tri-oval area. We'll go on board here with Steve Cunningham. Or he looks like he cuts down there and it maybe comes across the nose of the 88 car and then spins. It's like maybe a one-car incident, single-car incident here. Look out of the back of Givaldo's machine. Looks like Steve comes across the nose there of that 88 car. Doesn't realize that 88's there. Board here with Will Dunbar out of the front of his machine. He's going to see a whole lot of that 86 come across his nose. Good news is that nobody really got into that, into anything, but definitely maybe a little bit of damage here for the 88 and the 86. Paul Brown, the leader. All right, so a little quick caution flag there here on lap 24. Got some guys coming down pit lane. We'll get a bird's eye view here of the battle coming off pit lane. Looks like the 77 and the 24 racing it out. That 77 got a little bit of a head of steam there, getting by the 24. Good three-way battle there coming off pit lane. Some guys taking two tires here. That's interesting. Look out across the track there. So Lucas Simpner out, staying out here. I don't know whether he's going to come down pit lane. He's definitely going to get his lap led here. I think maybe that's that could be his mission. Lead this lap, get some points, and then come down pit lane. Don't forget about our Las Vegas Motor Speedway race tomorrow on the Saturday Night Thunder. Race number 3 of the season. 120 laps. Open setups, 1X tires, 1X fuel setting there, and 60% damage setting. Got to be a little bit more careful at this in this series. But these are the Cup cars, man. A little bit more power, a little bit more speed. And the Saturday Night Thunder, Las Vegas Motor Speedway, 120 laps in the great Saturday Night Thunder series. Very storied program there, and that's really, where it all started for me here at HORL in 2001. A few guys sort of switched over that NASCAR Heat effort and came over to NASCAR 4, Papyrus's NASCAR 4, and I got a message from Rick Hogue. So 2001 is when they really started the league, and didn't race very long at NASCAR Heat. Anyway, came over and started racing NASCAR 4. We started doing some pickup races. Rick Hogue brought me over, and it's where I met Steve Freeze and Dave and the whole crew. And I'll tell you what, man, I've been there ever since. So 2001 is when HORL started, and I was lucky to come in the sort of that latter half of 2001. I've been racing a long time with the crew. A lot of history here at High Octane Racing League. We're now back out on our own where we belong. We've got a good group of supportive drivers, and I think some of those old guard HORL guys are coming back, man. You see Sean Jacobs, Ed Palumbo's here, Preston Hassel, Tony Furtado's come back as well, and you're seeing those guys come back into the fold, and it's really pretty cool to see those old guys coming back out and racing with us. I shouldn't say old guys, old guard HORL guys. And we got a great new crew of loyal drivers racing with us tonight. Paul Brown does a lot of work for us. Bardelli Jr., he's here each and every night. Good to see him out. Here we go, pace cars in. We're getting ready to go back green here as I'm reminiscing.
Green flag, go, go, go.
All right, back to green. Sean Jacobs now back to the race lead. He's using that strength there on the early runs in that 24 car, but Claudio Bardelli Jr. is hounding him right now. Bardelli Jr.'s got a run here on the inside line. These guys are getting racy on that outside line, man, nose to tail. And Bardelli Jr.'s got a little bit of help there with the 53. Jim Willis in that Camaro. So a lot of Camaros up front, man. Bardelli Jr. now to the race lead. We were just talking about him. Look at that, man. He's going to have to protect that bottom side. That 77 has a run here on the inside line. Bardelli Jr. up in the outside line. Paul Brown on the 77 on the inside line. Now Paul Brown on that 2-tire strategy. Is that going to work out for him? Steve Cunningham came down pit lane here. Pitted a little bit late here as the green flag waved. He came down pit lane to do a drive-through, I believe. I'm not sure why he waited, why he did that, but now he is the tail end of the field. Looking out of the front of Bardelli Jr.'s machine, you see Steve Cunningham up there, and he's going to get caught here in a hurry. These guys are side by side coming off the turn. Take a look at Sean Jacobs in that 24, pushing that 77 car a little bit. Ed Palumbo back there behind Bardelli Jr. Look at that Jim Willis in this mix. These guys are getting after it. You're on lap 31, lot of laps to go. I said patience. I don't see a lot of patience right now. Side by side, man. Holy smokes. This is tight racing here. 91, 24, 77, 54 in this mix. Take a look at Jim Willis here in his 53 car. This is a parking lot right now. Jim Willis behind the 24 of Sean Jacobs. That Parts America machine just ahead of him. Jim Willis in his Black Rifle Coffee Company machine. Got a little bit of a run on the outside line. Just got to be patient with that inside. It might come in here. These guys are getting after it. Take a look at this. Givaldo Spindle and Preston Hassel racing it out through the tri-oval. Preston in that 27 up on the high line. Givaldo in the 68 down on the bottom line there. And Preston's going to take over that 8th position. Now going to move up to 7th. Tell you what, man, Claudio Bardelli Jr. and Sean Jacobs just keep discussing things. Side by side there. Jim Willis here, he keeps pushing the envelope. He's up on the, he's down on that bottom line there. Ed Palumbo and Jim Willis are battling it out. Ed Palumbo in the 54, good race here for him so far. He's got to be patient, man. Sometimes I think Ed's been having a little bit of tough luck as of late. He's just sometimes he puts that car in situations where it's just a little risky. But right now, seems to be running a pretty good race here. Patience. 24 down on the bottom line. These guys are running up on some lap traffic now. This can get a little tight. You're going to have to figure this out. Oh, there might have been a little contact there with the 54 and the 24. These guys are figuring it out here, getting single file as they come up to the lap traffic. Steve Cunningham looking down in the back of his machine. You see that 77. Our race leader. Paul Brown, Claudio Bardelli Jr., Ed Palumbo, 1, 2, 3. Sean Jacobs in 4th. Jim Willis in the 5th position. Steve Cunningham going to give these guys some room. 77 now. Going to put that 86 car a lap down. Tony Furtado and Dan Richter battling it out. Dan Richter on the bottom line there. Tony Furtado in the 1X machine up on the high line. Side by side there. Looking out of the back of Tony Furtado's machine. Racing one of our temporary cars. Gets a good run there and gets around Dan Richter. Good to see Dan Richter out here tonight. Furtado continuing to move forward here now, battling. He's lost a position there as Dan Richter got back by. Lucas Simpner here in the 21. Up on the high line, you see the 53 and the 1X. Now this 53 has dropped back here a little bit. And he was racing pretty hard. He might be on that 2-tire strategy. You see the 53, Jim Willis, that Black Rifle Coffee Company machine. Now dropping back here. He's in that 8th position now as Arthur Vieira gets by. Dan Richter up on the outside line here, racing Preston Hassel. Dan Richter in the 65 car of our Purdue Boilermakers out here on the track. I think the only Purdue Boilermaker out here on the track. At 65. Oh, when he smacks the wall coming off the turn, a little bit of contact there for the 65 car. 21, Lucas Simpler down on the bottom line here, so the BTFU Boilermaker machine, number 65, little scraping off a little paint on the wall. A little bit of side damage to him, and 24 wanted to tuck in there, but not going to happen. Ed Palumbo up on the outside line here, trying to get around Sean Jacobs. Looking out of the back of Ed Palumbo's machine. Dan Richter, that Mustang just behind. There's Sean Jacobs starting to put a little pressure here on the inside line, looking out of the front of Ed Palumbo's machine. He's running in P3. Archie Vieira and Jim Willis racing it out. Archie Vieira up on the outside line in that 4 car. Jim Willis in the 53 down on the inside line. Good battle there. That's for the 8th position. Sean Jacobs and Dan Richter, these guys have had a pretty good battle here for a couple laps. Oh, Archie Vieira might have smacked the wall there. I think Arthur Vieira might have gotten into the wall. Well, if you take a look at Archie Vieira here as he comes off the turn, and I don't know what happened here, but it looks like he might have smacked the wall. Like it might have been a little bit earlier or a little bit later than this. We got caught a little bit earlier. You see a good race in there, and I think he's just going to get up the track and get into the wall. Everything looks all right there. He is way up the track right there and went off. Those guys are getting pretty high in the. Went off the turn. This Bardelli Jr., I thought we were going to get that. Archer's like, hey man, you don't have to get me smacking the wall. Look at the 68 and 24. These guys have been racing it out here for a little bit. Bardelli Jr. in this mix too. Dan Richter is closing in on these guys a little bit longer, maybe a little bit patience there out of Dan Richter's machine, even though he might have some right side damage. Does not look like that's affected him too much. Tony Furtado and Jim Willis. So the 1X machine here showing some strength. Looking to take over the 8th position as Jim Willis climbs up the track there as Furtado tucks in. Now in front of Tony Furtado's machine, now running in the 8th position. Jim Willis back to 9th. And Palumbo here's dropping back a little bit. As Lucas Simpner now getting by and putting Ed Palumbo now back to P6. Lucas Simpner now in the 5th position. We're up here with Paul Brown in the 77. Cunningham has tagged onto the back here, starting to hold his own on that 77 car. See Glenn Wilson now on the bottom line. Take a look at Glenn Wilson. Is really doing a lot better here. He's coming out and he's got some kind of hand-me-down stuff there from the son. The son's got the prime stuff, and he says, hey man, I want to get out here and race with my boy. And hey, he's pretty, improved quite a bit, starting to hold that line a lot better and looking pretty good. So, who knows? For long, we're going to see some top 5s out of him. But good to see Glenn Wilson out here. And also, what a good bonding experience here to race with your son and, kind of enjoy doing the things he likes to do as well. Look at this battle here. This is for P2. Lucas Simpner and Sean Jacobs side by side as they roll up on some lap traffic here. Lucas Simpner gets that pass, so Luca now up to the 2nd position, and Sean Jacobs falls back to 3rd. See Glenn there down on the inside line, giving these guys a lot of room. He's getting off the track there onto the apron, and just kind of hold that line. These guys will make adjustments. Tony Furtado and Ed Palumbo. Now Palumbo they're starting to drop back a little bit, so maybe on that 2-tire strategy for him. There's a 1X, and Tony Furtado makes that pass, takes over P7. Ed Palumbo now back to the 8th position. Preston Hassel here. He's closing in. Look at this. Preston Hassel now showing some strength on the outside line, getting by Jim Willis in the 53. Preston Hassel now back up to the 9th position. And Paul Brown continuing to press the issue there and open up some gap there. 3.3 second gap on P2. Jim Willis here in the 53 coming off track, so he's coming down pit lane, I believe. Looks like he and Ed Palumbo are going to make a pit stop. So we're starting to see some green flag pit stops now. Race leader, the 77, coming down pit lane. This is where you got to be careful here. You got to be careful here because, man, things can go right in a hurry. The 21, Lucas Simpner, now the race leader. So green flag pit stops. As now we see Paul Brown ducking into his pit stall as the 21 of Lucas Simpner leading the field. And this is kind of what he likes to do. Kind of hangs back there, works his way up the front, saves fuel, saves tires. Paul Brown out the pit lane, coming back out on the track. So Lucas Simper, I got to wonder now, how long is it going to be before... Oh, is he coming down pit lane? And he is. Lucas Simper coming down pit lane. As Paul Brown finishes up that pit stop. Dan Richter also on pit lane. Artur Vieira on pit lane. Sean Jacobs finishing up his pit stop. We got a ton of pit stops here coming on underway. So a ton of guys here on pit lane. Paul Brown, the front car that has not, or has pitted already, back out here on the track. About Givaldo Spindola running in the 13th position. Now he is one lap down. He is in the lucky dog position. Keith Cunningham in 14th. Glenn Wilson in 15th. So once pit stops have kind of shaken out, now we're looking at Paul Brown, the leader. Simpner in second, just 3/10 back. So as Luca did a two-tire stop, I wonder. He is closing in on Paul Brown, so about a 2-second gap there between the two of those guys now. Take a look at that battle for the lead. That gap is at 1.8 seconds, almost 1.9 seconds between P1, P2. We're still closing in, closing the gap, and they got a 68 car kind of wedged in between. Givaldo in the 68 car, our first car, one lap down. Bardelli Jr. here running in the third position. He is 3 seconds back in P3. So great way to string out the field a little bit. Tight battle here with the 65 and the 54. Also Tony Furtado in this mix. So the 65, Dan Richter running in fifth. Just ahead of him is Ed Palumbo in the fourth position. And Tony Furtado running in sixth in that 1X machine. He's looking out of the front of his machine. He sees that nose to tail between the 54 and the 65. Tony using a little bit different line there as he comes through the turn. He's got some new racing gear coming in. I say thanks so much to Tony for his support in TurnLeftTV and the Fanatec affiliation for me. So the 54 and the 65 nose to tail right now. Pretty close battle there, and I think that neither one of those guys in too big of a hurry here. A 5-second gap between them and the race leader. Furtado there hanging on as well. Sean Jacobs, Jim Willis here running together, and this is 7th and 8th. Take a look at the 24 car. Boys remarks out, I was able to paint this car for him, and really took a lot of time on getting this thing right. This is this old throwback Darrell Waltrip scheme. Put the 24 on it, and he says, man, it's been my favorite car. And I really appreciate the compliments. Feel like I've done a pretty good job on some of these paint schemes. Looking out of the back of Sean's machine at Jim Willis. Battle here, Preston Hassel, Artur Vieira. Preston Hassel up on the high line, Artur Vieira down on that bottom line. Now we saw Preston got involved in a little bit earlier incident, but it didn't seem like it really caused too much of an issue for him. And Artavera did smack the wall earlier in that last run, and he might have some right side damage he's dealing with. Pretty good little chunk for him into the outside wall. This Dan Richter here vying for P4. Down on the inside line is the 54, Ed Palumbo, Mellow Yellow sponsored machine, now back to the 5th position. And Tony Furtado looking on the low side there. He's looking out of the back of Dan Richter's machine. He's starting to open up a gap there on P3, or excuse me, P5. Dan Richter here making some moves. He's on lap 61. So we've had a couple caution flags, and now some long green flag runs. We've had to be a good green flag pit stops. Take a look at Archer Vietti here in the 4 car. Here running in the 10th position. He is our pole sitter here tonight. Looks like maybe in that long run scheme there. Now Vieira might be saving his tires too. Very savvy driver. You know, he gets these things figured out here in a hurry. Keep our eye on that 4 car running right now, running in the 10th position. Sean Jacobs and Tony Furtado. Tony Furtado up the track and kind of messaging or radioing to Sean. Says, hey, go ahead and pass me on the low side. And now Tony there getting into the wall a little bit as Jim Willis is going to get by. Jim Willis making that pass now moves up to the 7th position. Take a look at this pass here. So right here as 53 gets by that 1X machine. Take a look at Christian Wilson here in the 30 car. We haven't talked too much about him. He's had a pretty quiet night, but keeps plugging away right now in the 12th position. Running in P12 in that 30. 20 seconds down, 19 seconds down or so. Just ahead of him was Will Dunbar in the 88. Sean Jacobs and Ed Palumbo here battling it out. Now, Ed Palumbo looks to me like maybe that car is not quite as good on the long runs. Looks like the 54 might have a short run car here tonight. And the way that this race was looking here for a while, it looked like we were going to have a lot of short runs, but it looks like now we've had a couple long runs here. This is our second long run. We've got Tony Furtado on pit lane in the 1X machine, making a pit stop here. He has got some damage there on that right side. He had to get repaired. So Tony Furtado finishing up that pit stop, coming back out on track. We'll take a look at Sean Jacobs. You can take a look at Sean Jacobs in the 24 running in P5. He and Ed Palumbo there running together. So Ed Palumbo now back to the 6th position. Well, that gap has decreased about 1.2 seconds, but Paul Brown still out front. You're on lap 68, and this guy just keeps racking up the wins. He's got 3 wins this season. He's looking for win number 4. He's got something figured out here, but I'll tell you what, Lucas Symphony in the 21 car has got something figured out as well, because he is closing in on that 77. Looking out of the front of Lucas' machine at the 77 out there. See Glenn Wilson now just ahead there on that. Looks like he might be getting over to the inside. He's going to go, looks like 3 laps down now. Kind of drifting up the track there just a little bit. This can get a little bit dangerous here coming off and then coming down to the tri-oval, but that gives the 21 car a lot of room. 21 now half a second behind the 77, so this is tightening up here. This will be for a battle for the race lead as the 21 closing in on that 77 car. You're looking out of the back of the 77's machine at the 21. Lucas Simpner closing in, looking for his first win this season. Simpner now looking on the low side. Patience out of the 21. Likes to save those tires. He loves to race that high line. This guy can just flat out put that car anywhere he wants it. Some nose to tail here. This is for the race lead. Simpner has started about 2 seconds down off that last pit stop and now closed in on the race leader. Battle here, Jim Willis and Artur Vieira. Vieira in the 4 car. Our pole sitter. Working on the bottom side of the 53. He gets by now, taking over the 8th position as Jim Willis back to Jim Willis coming off the track. I think he's coming down pit lane here, so now back to 10th. Now moving back to the 11th position as Givaldo gets by. Yeah, Palumbo and Sean Jacobs battling it out. Good side-by-side here. Battling just ahead. It looks like Sean Jacobs to give up that spot. Is Ed Palumbo using that high line now, closing back in on the 65 car. So Ed might have been saving something here. Now closing back in on some of these guys that got around him. These guys are way up the track there. It's that 65 car hugging the wall. Artur Vieira continuing to move up here as he's getting by the 27 of Preston Hassel. Lucas Simpner now the race leader as Paul Brown's come down pit lane. Paul Brown coming down pit lane here, and he's carrying a heck of a lot of speed. Paul Brown carrying a heck of a lot of speed coming down pit lane. And he's indicating that he might have gotten caught speeding. Oh my heavens, man. So Paul Brown on pit lane as Lucas Simpner leading the field. Paul Brown indicating he might have gotten caught speeding. Oh my heavens, man. So Lucas Simpner, the leader. Back up here indicating he's going to be coming down pit lane. So you got to be really careful. It's easy to want to try to get as much as you can, much speed as you can. But it's easy to get yourself in a pickle there and speed. And we saw Paul Brown do that very thing. As Lucas Simpner coming off the track, coming down pit lane. And Paul Brown, he's coming back into his pit stall. It's like Paul Brown coming back down into his pit stall there. Dan Richter, the race leader, he's come down pit lane. So you can see the lead guy still out on the track, and that's Tony Furtado in the 4th position, and I think he's going to end up being the race leader here before it's all said and done. We'll see. And a little bit of time there, and Simpner actually shown as the race leader. Let's see where he comes off pit lane. So A little bit of a gap there, so I think he's probably going to be maintaining that race lead. Furtado about 3 seconds back now. So it does look like Lucas Sinfter back to the race lead here on lap 78. Paul Brown, devastating penalty for him. He's now 1 lap down. Tony Furtado in second. Ed Palumbo third. Claudio Bardelli Jr. is in fourth. Jim Willis in fifth. Richter, Jacobs, Vieira, Wilson, and Hassel rounding out the top 10. Dan Richter in the 65. Just behind him, Sean Jacobs. Again, we've had 2 rounds of green flag pit stops here. Some great drama going on here. So Paul Brown got caught speeding. Guys having a little bit slower pit stops than others and shaking up some things here a little bit. Tony Furtado running in P2 is 2.4 seconds back. Now I got to wonder how many of these guys can actually make it the rest of the way. That's the question. Will Dunbar here in the 88 car, running in the 11th position. He is the first car 1 lap down. Tony Furtado scrubbing up a little bit of speed right there. Holy smokes. That got a little crazy. That got a little crazy here as Ed Palumbo almost got into the 1X machine. 1X now coming down pit lane. Take a look here. Look at this. This got crazy in a hurry right here. Right there, Ed Palumbo and the 1X of Tony Furtado almost get together. Furtado does his best to get out of the way. He realizes these guys are a little bit faster now. 54 getting by 86 of Steve Cunningham. He is in 2 laps down in the 14th position. Bardelli Jr. in this mix too, in that 91 car. He had to be wondering what the heck is going on up there. 86 drifting up the track there a little bit. Showing a lot of talent there, man, coming over from iRacing. We see a lot of times when those guys come around from iRacing, they really do adjust pretty quickly. They realize, there's some give and take there, some things you have in iRacing that you don't have here, but I tell you, the physics are great in rFactor 2. And it's all about driving. Look at this, man. 88 there up on the high line as the 86 gets by. On board here with Claudio Bardelli Jr. He's trying to find a way through so he can attack that 54 car. Siffner continuing to lead. 3.8 second lead over Ed Palumbo. Bardelli Jr. in third, Richter in fourth, Jacobs in the 5th position. And that is a great battle there. Sean Jacobs and Dan Richter, look at that. Good nose to tail battle there, the 24. Jacobs looking to try to get by this 65 car. So 65 holding serve there, running in P4. Sean Jacobs in the 4th spot. Tony Furtado and Givaldo Spindola. Givaldo in the 68 car up on the high line as Tony Furtado in the 1X machine, fresh off pit lane, makes that pass. Givaldo tucks in. Right now, Givaldo running in the, where's he at here? Running in the 13th position. Take a look at Givaldo in the 68 car running in P13. Pretty quiet night here for him. Dedicated. Man, this guy's out each and every week. Glenn Wilson right now running in P15. It's like he's coming down pit lane, I believe. So it does look like Glenn Wilson's coming down pit lane here. This, the 24 and the 65. Things getting a little hairy now. 24 looking on the inside line. The 77 of Paul Brown in the 11th position behind these guys. He had to do that drive-through. Ed Palumbo is on pit lane as we speak here. So these guys do have to make more pit stops here. You know, about 10 laps to go-ish. About 11 laps. Now 10 laps to go. And Ed Palumbo on pit lane. Now finishing up his pit stop. So maybe a good short run here for the 54 car might be the thing he needs.
Yellow, yellow, yellow.
And there might be the thing he needs, and that is a caution flag. No, he does not need that. Because he now might be one lap down, and he's not in lucky dog position. Looks like Will Dunbar will be in the lucky dog position. Oh, what a crappy deal for Ed. So it looks like Glenn Wilson off the pace there in that 5X machine. See what happened here. It looks like Glenn trying to rejoin the track. Maybe a little bit early there, and gets that car spinning around in the 5X machine. Okay, we'll take a look here as he tries to get up on the track. There's a little bit early. You got to come around turn 2 all the way around onto that backstretch before you get back up onto the track, and just lost the back end of that and spun around. The 21, Lucas Simpner, I don't think he wanted to see that yellow flag here. Will Dunbar has gotten the lucky dog and is so Lucas Simpner in the 21 now has to make a pit stop here. So he did not want to see that caution flag. Definitely did not want to see him on pit lane. Now some of these other guys have made pit stops here. I wonder if you're going to see some gambling going on. Now Bardelli Jr. is coming down pit lane too. So very interesting. Now, Will Dunbar is the lucky dog, so congratulations to him on getting back on that lead lap. We'll flash up the lucky dog for Will Dunbar. Getting a couple points there. 4 laps led. What a great looking paint scheme too on that, huh? I mean, Salesforce sponsor machine. So looking pretty good. So very interesting late race caution flag, huh? This is going to mix things up here, and had a pretty clean deal. And I would guess that these last few laps are going to be just all out. There's not going to be any playing nice. As Will Dunbar comes down pit lane. All right, Bardelli Jr., the leader here. Dan Richter second. Jacobs third. Simpner is fourth. Now, those guys have all come down pit lane, so this is interesting. Like I said, I don't think Luca will get that one to go, and Bardelli Jr. has elected to go to the inside. Now, the other interesting twist to this is we got some wave around cars, right? We've got Brown, Palumbo, Spindola, all wave around cars. So Paul Brown now back on the lead lap, so to speak, from the tail end of the lead lap, I should say. He's taking that wave around. So the risk there, obviously, is you're on a little bit older tires, where some of these other guys that are up front here are on fresh tires. Bardelli Jr. on the inside in the 91 car. He's been pretty strong here all night long. Dan Richter doesn't race with us a whole heck of a lot, but showed a lot of strength here tonight. He's going to start on the outside line. Lucas Simpner is going to start on the outside line in P4. Sean Jacobs in the 24 car will start in the third position. Vieira will start fifth. Hassel sixth. So here we go, the pace car, the lights are out. We're going to go green this time by. We'll race it out for the win, hopefully. We'll win this under green. So here we go, waiting for the camera angle to switch. There we go. All right, back to green. Across the start and finish line, we start lap 95. Bardelli Jr., good jump there. He's got a help from the 24 car. Sean Jacobs now side by side with Dan Richter in the 65. Bardelli Jr. protecting that outside line. Arthur Vieira, one of his Brazilian brothers, down on the inside line. Will he work with him, or will he block on that 24 car? Bardelli Jr. leading that lap. The 4 now beside the 24. Looking out of the back of Claudio Bardelli Jr.'s machine. Look at that, man. The 4 car's got a little bit of a run here. The 4 car's got a run. As the 91 goes up to block the 24 car. The 91 back down to the inside. Oh, there's contact there with the 24 and the 4. Oh my gosh, how did Arthur Vieira hold on to that thing? 24 tried to squeeze that in there. Vieira now scrubbing off, and he's going to lose a bunch of positions. Dan Richter in the 65 car, he might be in this mix now. Bardelli Jr. on the inside line. Side by side. Richter's got a little bit of help from Lucas Simpner. Bardelli Jr. hanging out on the bottom side here, holding firm. Across the start-finish line, we'll have one to go. It's side by side coming across the finish line here. The 65 now inches ahead. Lucas Simpner in this mix too. Dan Richter in the 65 car. Can he hold off that 21 who's got some strength there on the middle lane? The 65 running that outside line. Bardelli Jr. on the inside. He's got a little bit of juice in the tank. Coming off the last turn here, the 65. Dan Richter, does he have what it takes to hold off the 21 car? Dan Richter is going to come away with the race win here at Las Vegas. Wow, man, that got interesting there at the end, didn't it? So Dan Richter in the 65 car gets the race win. Congratulations to him. So Dan Richter in the TurnLeftTV logo. How about that? Getting some street cred right there. So congratulations to Dan Richter. New car in the car set too, huh? Gets that in victory lane. Big time win right there for Richter. Dan Richter burning them down there. Let's take a look at the final results. My heavens, man. Let's take a look at the session results here. The final results for tonight's race. Dan Richter in the 65 car gets the race win. Lucas Simpner finishes in second. Claudio Bardelli Jr. battles for that third position. Sean Jacobs fourth. Jim Willis finishes in the top five there in that fifth position, the 53 car. Preston Hassel sixth. Arthur Vieira there hangs on for the seventh place finish. Will Dunbar finishes in eighth. Christian Wilson finishes in the ninth position. Givaldo Spindola, great top 10 run for him, finishes in 10th in the 68 car. Finishing in the 11th position is Ed Palumbo in the 54. Paul Brown is 77, finishes in the 12th position. So untimely caution flags for those guys. Tony Furtado in the 1X machine finishes in 13th. Steve Cunningham finishes in the 14th position in the 86 car. Glenn Wilson in the 5X finishes in 15th. All right, we'll fix that there. We'll see if we can't get Dan Richter up here in the booth with us. All right, we're joined up here in the booth with Dan Richter in the 65. Great win here at Vegas. Congratulations.
Thank you. Pretty good debut. All right. New car.
Yeah, I see the BTFU on the back of that car. It was pretty interesting. Little Boilermaker shout out there. What's a Boom Boo?
Bumbu.
Bumbu,
It's,
okay.
brand of rum.
Oh,
Really good
okay.
stuff.
Well, that was an interesting finish to the race there. Kind of an untimely caution for some of those guys, and of course, Paul had a little issue there speeding on pit lane under green, but it took some of the key players out of the race. But you just kind of methodically, kind of kept that car up front, working your way back, and I say working your way through the pack and getting up front. You had some great battles, but that battle at the end there, you had to be wondering about Luca. It looked like he was going to take it 3 wide there for a little bit.
Yeah, on the restart, I just figured if I could get to the high side, then I would be up there scraping the wall if I had to pass somebody, because I wasn't able to make a move on the inside on anybody all night long.
It looked like earlier in the race you might have made some contact with the wall. Did you have damage from that?
Just light damage, just scraping the wall. Like I said, I was going to run that high line or die.
And the bottom line just sort of never came in, even late in the run. It really wasn't a factor.
Well, I think you could run it for maybe the first 5 laps, but then it's a little too hard on your tires to be able to keep up with someone on the outside. Because since these cars don't have quite as much power, any momentum you lose is a little bit harder to gain back. So if you stay on the high side and keep that momentum up.
Seems like a lot of fun there on those restarts or on the early runs there, where you have 4, 5, 6 cars that are all packed up together side by side. And we did have a little contact there with Sean Jacobs and Arthur Vieira. What was your perspective from that?
I had no clue what was happening behind me. I was just focused on the front.
Well, we know you're doing a little part-time racing with us next week. Is one of those tracks you either hate it or love it, and that's Talladega Super Speedway. Schedule going to allow you, or you got another one of those fantasy football parties?
No, that was just for the draft.
Okay.
I'd say tonight was a little bit of a super speedway race with the way it was. Like it was pack racing. You couldn't really separate from somebody. But I'm not sure about next week. I'll be here if I can.
So the draft party, was there any bamboo rum floating around at that by chance?
I don't
Yes
think I
or no?
brought any. No.
Oh. All right, man. Well, hey, congratulations. Good to see you in Victory Lane, and good to see you back out here racing with us, and hope to see you again this season.
Yep. Thank you very much, Heath. See ya.
All right, that's Dan Richter joining us up here in the booth. One of our Indiana drivers, Purdue University fan, and that's that BTFU boiler. The I don't know what the F stands for. Up is the last words. You can try to figure that one out, but so he's a big boiler fan and attended Purdue University. I don't know if he still attends there part-time or what, but I know lately he was, or last season, I guess, or last semester, I think he was. But hey, congratulations to Dan on getting the race victory there. It was a very exciting race there at Vegas, and he got the TurnLeftTV logo in Victory Lane. How about that, huh? Gotta like that. They did that paint scheme himself too, so it looks very nice. Good little popping scheme on the track. Well, we got some more racing headed your way tomorrow, this weekend at Mid-Ohio in the High Octane Racing League GT3 Series. 50-minute race there. Back in action is race number 2. Racing will start at 2:30 p.m. I'll probably start the stream somewhere around 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so you don't want to miss it. It's a 50-minute race from Mid-Ohio in the High Octane Racing League GT3 Series coming up tomorrow. And then tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the High Octane Racing League Saturday Night Thunder, the Cup cars, will be in action from Vegas. 120 laps, and it should be a great, great race. So don't want to miss that. If you're interested in coming out and racing with us at Vegas in the Cup cars, come on out. Saturday Night Thunder headed your way tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tonight's race has been brought to you by EliteHostingUSA.com. If you're interested in an rFactor 2 server, please check out EliteHostingUSA.com. Not only that, if you're interested in hosting your website, no matter what the theme of your website, You can use EliteHostingUSA.com. WordPress hosting available. So we definitely have our site here, highoctaneracing.net, through them, and always love the customer service and any questions I have, just a little message away. So highoctaneracing.net, EliteHostingUSA.com, providing the web hosting for them. I should say for us. Well, I want to say thanks so much for coming out and joining us here on TurnLeftTV tonight. Man, that was an exciting race. It really was. We had a couple caution flags there at the end, sort of, add a little flavor to it. And then we had a lot of green flag pit stops, guys making, I said pit stops on point. We saw some guys making some mistakes on pit lane and taking some gambles along the way too. And some of those things paid off. Some of them didn't pay off. But hey, thanks for joining us, man. What an exciting race here. Greatly appreciate all those folks coming in the chat session and joining us, and coming, whether you're watching this live or on replay. I appreciate you being here. Please hit that thumbs up button. Let me know you were here. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button, I encourage you to do so. It's right there. Smack that subscribe button, and then also smash the bell. And you'll get updates when races are going live, when videos have been uploaded. Appreciate you being here. Thanks so much for joining us here on TurnLeftTV. And you know what that means, man. That means tonight, for the rest of the night, I am out of here.